Here's the final review for Unit 1 of PBS. It's Unit 1.3. So in this unit, we've began to talk about autopsies. And with that, we just talked about what an autopsy is, which is the internal and external examination of a body to determine the cause of death. There can be forensic autopsies and there can be clinical autopsies. Forensics are usually done to solve crimes, and clinical autopsies are usually done in hospitals to understand the cause of a disease or death in the hospital. And there's five legal manners of death that we term when someone dies. They're given one of these manners of death. It could either be homicide, suicide, accidental, undetermined, or of natural causes. With the autopsies, we did a brief overview of the body systems. We're going to get a lot more in-depth into these throughout PBS and especially in HBS. We didn't talk about the reproductive system, but we talked about the excretory system, also called the urinary system. We talked about the muscular system and the skeletal system, this one combined in them. We talked about the nervous system, the immune or the lymphatic system, digestive, cardiovascular, integumentary, respiratory, and endocrine. So if we go through these real quick, the integumentary is the skin and the external coverings of your body, and that's mainly for protection. It also helps with regulating heat and some other things. Skeletal system is support of your body, protection of vital organs, like especially your cranium, protects your brain, and also with movement as it connects to your muscles. Muscular system, there's three main types of muscles that we'll talk about in HBS, and it's responsible for movement both of your whole body and also of movement inside of your body, like through the stomach and through the esophagus. The nervous system is mainly for responses. It's your brain, your nerves, and your sensory organs like your eyes and your ears and your spinal cord. The cardiovascular system is your heart and your blood vessels, and it's mainly geared to get rid of waste and to also transport gases, oxygen, and nutrients and sugar around your body to make sure all your body's getting the correct nutrients for energy for your cells. And the respiratory system is where gas exchange. You breathe in oxygen, you breathe out carbon dioxide. You have your nasal bronchi, your nasal pharynx area. You have your trachea and your bronchi and your lungs, and then in your lungs you have alveoli. We'll get a lot more in depth into that in HBS. You have the lymphatic and immune system. These protect against foreign invaders, bacteria, viral infections, and they can also filters our fluids in our body. Digestive system breaks down and absorbs the nutrients. That's your stomach, your large and small intestines, liver, pancreas, esophagus, and gallbladder, and some other organs in there. Your urinary system regulates the amount of fluid in your body, eliminates waste. That's made of mainly your kidneys and your bladder. And then finally, the endocrine system is responsible for producing your hormones that maintain homeostasis, maintain your growth, metabolism, reproductive system. And this is your adrenal glands, your pituitary, testes, ovaries, your pancreas. There's a wide variety of glands in your body that produce hormones. Continuing, we then talked about HIPAA, and we talked about confidentiality and why it was important. So basically, anybody with any personal health information, this could be teachers, doctors, nurses, secretaries, they're all required to keep all your identificational information and your health history secret. They cannot tell you anybody else without your permission. They can't even leave phone messages at home if you don't want your husband or your other family members to know. So it's just to guarantee your safety, so that nothing happens, like someone finds out information that you wouldn't want them to otherwise know. The only time the health information can be given out without permission is when there's public safety, like an infectious disease, or when law enforcement is involved, or if there's a threat of injury, or like abuse. There has to be, the health system and teachers are required to report that. Then finally, the last thing is some of our biomedical science professionals that we talked about in here, and those would be your crime scene investigators who collect and analyze evidence. We have our forensic pathologists who do autopsies, and within that you could have medical examiners who are generally in highly populated areas that would have lots of crime and they're appointed, or in more rural areas where they don't have as many resources, they would be voted officials. Most of them are MDs, but some of them might not even have a medical degree. Then there's the DNA analysts who do the gel electrophoresis and analyze the DNA to determine where blood came from the scene, and toxicologists who analyze the blood from victims to determine if they were had any chemicals in their body that they shouldn't have. And that is it for 1.3. So again, you need to know the body systems, what autopsies are, and information about HIPAA.